Okay, we are going to start with simplifying proper fractions. Your notes are outdated. I just found a new way that I like better of teaching how to simplify a proper fraction. However, if you like the traditional way where you find the greatest common factor and then you went back and you divided both the numerator and denominator by that greatest common factor, that is great. Use those steps. Okay, but I'm going to teach you kind of a shortcut today. So we're going to simplify the fraction 6/30. Well, we're going to do the same start. We're going to do our factor trees for both to find our prime factor list. So 2 times 3 makes 6. 3 times 10 make 30. 10 can be broken down to 2 and 5. So I make my list for 6. I make my list for 30. When you're making your list, you want to make sure that the numerator stays on top and the denominator stays on bottom. So my list for 6 is 2 times 3. My list for 30 is 2 times 3 times 5. Just like if I was finding the greatest common factor, I cross out those common factors, those common numbers, and I'm left with nothing on the top. When you're left with nothing, remember, 1 is always a factor. So this tells me that 6/30 reduced down equals 1/5. See, here's how you would get your greatest common factors. You do 2 times 3. You can come back up and divide them both by that greatest common factor of 6, and you're still going to get the 1/5. So that's the old way. The new way is not having to go back and divide. You just cross out and use what's left. Let's do another one, 24 over 30. So step 1, make factor trees. And for 30, it's 3 and 10, 2 and 5, like above. Circle my prime numbers. Then I'm going to make my factor list, making sure to keep my numerator on top, my denominator on bottom. 24 was 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 30 was 2 times 3 times 5. I cross off what they have in common. On the top, I'm left with 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2, we just worked that out, and that's 4. On the bottom, I'm left with 5. So 4/5 is the reduced fraction. For 18/90, I can do 6 times 3, 2 times 3. 90, I can do 9 times 10, 3 times 3, 2 times 5. Those are all primes, so I can circle them. Again, next, you make your prime factor list, making sure to keep the numerator, the denominator, the denominator. Once I have my factor list, I cross out the common ones. I'm left with nothing on the top, so I place it with a 1. There's a 5 on the bottom, so my reduced fraction is 1/5.